welcome. I'm Celina Carr. Tonight I'll take you into this year's spring edition of our award-winning series, Perspectives. Here at Perspectives, we give you an inside look at the truth behind issues, trends, and phenomenons that matter to the community and you. Before we begin tonight, all of us here would like to announce that our fall editions of Perspectives won first place at the Iowa Broadcast News Association Awards in the Public Affairs category. Congratulations to all those involved. And first on tonight's program, imagine yourself a full-time University of Iowa student, an athlete, and not even 18 yet. Could you succeed with all of that on your plate? Well, one student is. Perspectives reporter Cassandra Santiago has the story.
Getting to a college graduation isn't easy. 1 in 3 freshmen won't make it back for their sophomore year. But at just 15 years old, Arateo Ola de la Jasa started her freshman year in a classroom much like this one, and continues to exceed the expectations today.
I don't think I've ever thought I wish I had stayed in high school. I love being in college. It's so much more freedom and so much more room to explore what you're actually good at instead of like strict curriculums, you know?
Coming to college early was first proposed to Arateo on a trip to the University of Iowa in the 8th grade. Then, at age 15 and a sophomore, a program called the National Academy of Arts, Sciences, and Engineering, known as NAES, made early admission into UI a reality.
The NAES program allows students who are academically able to skip their senior year of high school and start college early.
But Arateo's skill set reaches beyond academics. In fact, the NAES program wasn't her only recruiter at the time of her admission. The UI track and field team also saw greatness in the high school track star.
She was fully committed to track. She wanted to be there helping the team. She scored in many meets. She jumped really well. So, I mean, she had all the ability in the world.
After 2 years of high jumping, Arateo made the decision to part ways with the UI track team in order to commit even more time to her academics.
I am majoring in biomedical engineering pre-med, and I have 2 goals. Either go off to med school and be an ophthalmologist, or using biomedical engineering, I want to almost pioneer a way for disabled people to exercise.
With her eyes set on a bright future, we can be sure to catch more of Arateo soon enough. Cassandra Santiago, Perspectives.
Good for you, Arateo. We all hope you accomplish your goals. The school year is winding down for many students, but so much has happened over the course of the year. Alana Neal is standing by in the studio with a recap of this year's most unforgettable moments.
Thanks, Celina. Several events hit the Black communities across the country over the course of the past year. Right here in Iowa, controversy struck when a KKK statue was displayed on the university's Pentecrest. While the artist who put it there called it art, many Black students were offended. In the wake of controversy, the University of Iowa assembled the Black Student Advisory Committee, whose main goals are to adhere to the African American issues and concerns on campus. These controversial events all took place after Ferguson, Missouri policeman Darren Wilson was acquitted of all charges in the shooting of unarmed Black teen Mike Brown. This verdict sparked protests on the UI campus, and since then, students have voiced their concerns about Black lives in their student life.
The point today is to try and symbolically show that our voices do exist, and to try and make people see that. And we deserve to be heard. This is our campus, just as well as it is any other student's campus.
Another moment of the year is when University of Oklahoma banned the fraternity Sigma Alpha Epsilon from their campus. The expulsion happened after some fraternity members were caught on tape singing an explicit racist chant about how Black men were not allowed to join their fraternity. After the video released, the university's president shamed the behavior and suspended members of the fraternity. This year there were happy moments too. The hashtag Blackout Day trended on Twitter. Blackout Day celebrated Black beauty around the world and aimed to fight stereotypical images of Black people. And finally, after one of the most drawn-out cabinet confirmation delays, the U.S. Senate approved the African-American woman Loretta E. Lynch to become the next Attorney General. Republican representatives were skeptical of her interests. However, in the end, much to several of their colleagues' surprise, many voted for Ms. Lynch, making her an historical nominee. While many controversies are occurring across Black communities, there are positive things uplifting our community. I went to my hometown of Chicago, where I dived into the cultural traditions of Black barbershops. In 2007, Jimmy Burnett, or T as his clients may call him, opened up a barbershop in hopes to continuing the African-American traditions in cutting hair.
When I first opened in 2007, I brought the old school tradition to make it different from other barbershops.
The traditions began in the early 1900s, when public discrimination laws were put into place. Today, Black-owned barbershops still play a central role in the African-American public life. Its cultural background encourages both confidentiality and friendship, which makes barbershops an important gathering place for Black men to talk freely.
So it's a home away from home. People can come and relax and they don't got to worry about, if they married or they got girlfriends. They gossip all the time. The barbershop is worse than the courthouse.
Not only are Black hair shops important to the community, it is important for the general health of the hair. African American hair requires complex, specific, and careful care.
The African American hair, you got to use a bigger guard because the hair is more coarse. Their hair is so close to their pores, it's hard to kind of deal with it unless you got a guard or unless you know what you're doing with the clippers.
Reporting from T's Barbershop in Chicago, Ilana Neal, Perspectives.
Thanks, Alana. While Black barbershops are a gathering place for men, the UI organization Sister Speak creates a safe place for women of color to chat and discuss issues that matter to them. Perspectives reporter Taylor Smith takes a look into one topic that ignited a deep conversation.
The University of Iowa is a predominantly white institution with a 15.2% rate of minority students. Of this percentage, how many people are in interracial relationships? Sister Speaks is a student organization whose purpose is to create an inclusive environment for Black women on campus by speaking out on issues concerning the Black community.
We can have just really deep discussions about any topics, about things that we all kind of face. So the interracial thing has to a lot of women on campus have opinions about it.
Speaking of opinions, many members of the organization have different views of interracial dating, some speaking from observance and past experiences.
Unless the person is culturally competent and unless the other person is aware and they know their privilege, then it can be done. But if they're not willing to even understand or see your point of view, or if they don't acknowledge their privilege, then it would never work out for me.
Yet, for some people, it does work. According to USA Today, the number of interracial marriages in the U.S. has more than doubled in the last 2 decades, putting Iowa at a 10.3% marriage rate.
I'm Taylor Smith for Perspective News.
While interracial dating is on the rise across the country, there's one particular group at Iowa who often struggles with this idea. Perspectives reporter Molly Shin takes us into the world of cross-culture dating for Asian international students.
Asian international students often struggle with cross-cultural dating because of their language barrier and their family opinion. However, these students are open to these cross-cultures.
I have dated guys coming from a different background than I coming from.
It's very interesting because you can learn lots of new things, new culture from other places, people.
How do American students think about cross-cultural dating?
I think it's awesome.
I'm open to it. I haven't done it myself, but I respect others that do.
The background that you bring into play, so whether that would be family values or the culture that you were born and raised on.
Your family kind of expects you to date somebody that's the same ethnicity as you, but they come around.
I didn't really necessarily know the language of the person that I was dating. That would probably make it kind of difficult.
Whether it's an international student or a domestic student, I think there's qualities that you can find in everybody at an individual level that kind of brings out differences.
For example, American girls, I like their passion, and I think they are very beautiful.
No matter where you come from, if it's meant to be, it will be. It doesn't matter what background you're coming from. It doesn't matter what color your skin is.
It is clear to see that barriers between culture are starting to blur, and people are open to cross-cultural dating, including international students, reporting from the Old Capitol Mall Malaysian perspective.
Spring semester here at Iowa means end-of-year celebrations and events for many student organizations. Cassandra Santiago went to a Greek life event that showcased the history of a unique dance called strolling.
Life members and fans came out to support participants in the annual strolling competition this spring. The first segment featured members of the Pan-Hellenic Council, who are traditionally the white sororities. The winner's performance earned them points in their yearly Greek Week competition. The second segment featured members of the National Pan-Hellenic Council and the Multicultural Greek Council competing against each other for cash prizes. The National Pan-Hellenic Council consists of the traditionally black sororities and fraternities. But while stepping and showing competitions can be all fun and games, what really makes the tradition significant among African American Greek life is its cultural significance and history. Strolling displays a type of synchronized rhythmic dance usually performed in a line. The tradition dates back to the 1920s when African Americans incorporated it into the collegiate Greek life. Ancient African dance tends to influence the strolling and stepping. This can be seen when dancers use their voice, hands, and bodies to make sounds. During a typical Greek line, signs and sounds representing the sorority or fraternity are common.
Extremely important to maintain the tradition of strolling and stepping here at the University of Iowa specifically, because we are at a primarily white institution and a lot of things about minorities can be lost. So it is important to have Greek organizations, African American organizations on campus in general, just to keep that awareness there.
The University of Iowa campus currently hosts 7 of the 9 historically black Greek organizations that make up the National Pan-Hellenic Council. Visit the link displayed for more information on African American Greek life. Cassandra Santiago, Perspectives.
Great story, Cassandra. They definitely had some fun moves. Well, that brings us to the end of our spring edition of Perspectives. Make sure to tune in during the fall for our next program to see even more stories that are always arising in the communities around us and beyond. For more information on the National Association of Black Journalists and our Perspectives program, follow us on Facebook at UINABJ. I'm Celina Carr. Thanks for joining us tonight. We hope you learned something new.